That's at 9 AM, correct?
Yes.
I did 9 o'clock on the 5th.
You made a motion?
I did.
I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Jerry's here, he could do his, your stuff. He's number.
Number 3. Okay, well, here's Barb. She could do hers. Come on, Barb. Barb.
Oh my God. Are you ready?
We are, our first guy's not here yet, so.
Number fill time for 5 hours. You got 5. Okay, you can do it. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, how are you?
Oh my gosh, great, happy New Year.
We're good.
I thought I'd start off the new year and apologize.
This is Barb. This is Connie. She's our new admin.
Hi.
She's replacing Penny.
Oh, no, we're having transitions and transitions. It's the new year, yeah, it'd be great. So,
The Phil, I don't know where Paul at. There he is.
all right, I'm gonna start. So you, I only have 5 minutes an hour down to 4.
You don't.
We want to see that we do as we're
Stick to
around here,
time.
whatever. Okay, so, I have 13, total juveniles, on citations, 9 males, 4 females. I did do a hold on Christmas Eve, and I just wanted to say, like, that really is a big part of my job. And the reason that is so important, I feel like, is it's really important for me that our kids are able to remain in this community and not removed from this community to be held securely somewhere or to be taken to another facility if we can hold them here. So we do that hold as part of what I do. We do what is called a 48-hour hold. If we have a situation with the juvenile and they cannot get to court till Monday or something, and they don't pose a risk to themselves or harming somebody else or something, we stay with them until we can get them to court on Monday. Or maybe we have somebody who shows up in community, we have to wait on somebody to get here, a parent or something to come, to have them released to us or whatever. It's just a really important thing that we do. The other big important thing about what I do, and people probably don't know this about me because I'm so busy doing other stuff that really isn't my job like at all. No one really knows what I'm doing or where I am. But the other thing is, it's really important for us. We don't have a juvenile facility here. So we have to outsource to group homes or something like that. But a big part of my job is to monitor that juvenile jail situation so that we're not holding juveniles securely in facilities where there are adults. So when we don't have to, we don't want to. And really, I've not had any issue with anybody staying there. And it's just a good thing for us community-wise. We really should be looking to solve and have solutions for our kids in our own community. So I had to go do that on Christmas Eve. But it was wonderful. It was so worth it. Thank you, law enforcement. So they have to go there too. I also have 15 over in the classroom. And I would just like to say we have 12 that enrolled as 16, 17-year-olds, and we have 3 that are enrolled 18 and over. We're just currently enrolling another student over there, but I just want you to know, out of those 15 kids from last month, 13 of those 15 young adults and juveniles are employed. So almost everybody is like working over there, which is wonderful. The other thing I just would say, and I don't think people really know this about, because I call them, you know, my youth alternative kids and my youth alternative teams, but everybody that helps me, we do a ton of community service. I mean, just thousands of hours of community service. Those kids, my team, and their siblings, and friends of theirs, and other people who come along, my own kids, and other people and their own kids, they hung all 1,000 of those bags. They picked up all of that food that was left out for us, and they sorted it, counted it, did all that, and that food went out to 132 families, 334 people who live in those, and individuals within those families. This summer, my kids and I, we expanded that offering because we were not receiving backpack food there. For kids who are going to school out in our community, that food is still available. So this summer, those kids and I, just those kids and I, delivered meals to 457 meals to kids this summer. Over Christmas vacation, I have facilitated all of the food that went into our communities. And the Thanksgiving meal and the Christmas meal. Here, the 2 weeks that the kids were out of school, we delivered 300 meals out to 130 families out there. We do all of just that food transfer. We will unload all that food and do that within all of those trucks. That doesn't include, the weather's been horrendous. We've just been like saving people's lives by taking them out of their doors or whatever. We do all of that stuff. And there is not a week, like every week, we are just putting in tons of community service time for our community. So those kids who, while they might not be engaged like at the public school level, are going to school, working hard and working really hard on behalf of our community. So I just don't think they get enough credit for the goodness that they do. Because they're doing a lot of goodness. Not a lot of, because I'm going. And then we've given them 785 total hours of classroom instruction since April, and I just think that's huge. So not for us, but for them, because they're working really hard up there. And everybody thinks it's the Boy Scouts. They're always like, those Boy Scouts are like, I appreciate that, and there's probably voices that do in there, but it's
not.
kids, and it doesn't mean that they're just, it's through a criminal justice system, so. That's pretty much it, we're just hard at it already.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that, Barb. I think the service is critical and great values to those that are serving and those that are being served.
Yes,
So
indeed.
it's a good plan. See you tomorrow. Okay, now we're going to executive session.
Mr. Chairman, I'm executive session to discuss personnel.
Second that. Okay, second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
You guys are invited.
Yeah.
All right. Did everybody get the first, you get the aerial view of the parking area and the sidewalks? We met a week ago and we kind of locked down the position and everything. And so this is pretty much a finished drawing. And then Kyle went ahead and provided us an aerial view of the petroglyph feature that we want to see built, and he has that. You'll see a little square, kind of in the almost the center of the drawing. So that's a restroom facility. And that will be incorporated in basically a berm earth on the backside. And then the petroglyph feature will be incorporated in the design that you can see. And there will be a couple water features, and this is for basically educating the kids on waterways, and it will have, it'll have a manipulative feature where the kids can actually dam the waterway with sand and see the causes of and effects of erosion. And then the front side will tell the story of the petroglyph, portraying some of the formations that are out in the river road. And it will have a lot of the history and just kind of tell the story about the bird. It's like that interpretive center.
And the funding you're looking for TAP for, that'd be when you get done with this.
Excuse me.
We're thinking we can apply for TAP, when the letter
There's a
of
whole pile
intent
of
is due.
them.
Oh, there, I just wanted to know that one, that's the important thing, is TAP.
So the tax grants that you got for planning pretty much built this document with Kyle and the engineer from Tito.
Yes.
And so this is planning money, and then now you're going for construction money to help build as much of this as the TAP grant. And the TAP grant max is like,
500,000 is what we were told.
and so if you don't have enough money to get all of this built, which parts of this area will be omitting?
We're hoping to do it in 2 phases with the TAP grant. Because I believe each grant is maxed at 500,000, so we can apply twice for that amount. Our challenge is gonna be coming up with a match, the cash flow on it. So we're working towards the first phase, which I kind of did. So the first phase is actually going to be kind of where the entrance is right now, and a smaller parking area, and then we'll expand into the RV parking and all that in the second phase, if we can't get it all done.
You typically see, as it applies to the TAP grant, getting funded twice.
I don't know that you see phase projects, of course. When I first got on the TAP commission 8 years ago, the focus was almost solely on trails. Trails and almost all paved trails. They did do a little bit of others, but it's really changed in the last few years. I mean, a lot of it has to do with ADA, handicap accessibility, those kind of things. You're really schools. The school's still a big part of it. Some of the original was helping schools path. It was, I can't remember, but anyway, that all rolled into the TAP commission. There is some legislation out there in this current legislation to look at a little more money for schools and for pathways and some of those things. That did get shot down, maybe that committee looked into.
Oh, yeah, so
They said that maybe that it would resurrect a little bit, maybe with less money, but if you have a good phase plan, then they'll look at it.
That's what we're working on now. We're hoping in 2023 to put in our letter of intent for our first round of construction.
I actually have served on the TAP commission for quite a time since I've been a commissioner. There's a county commissioner that serves on there. I have to recuse myself when it comes to your projects. It's close to Hot Springs County, but anyway, yeah, I don't. It happens. I mean, like Casper really built the whole deal in their entire community. It's amazing. Pathways and Cheyenne. Yeah, I think the 2 rounds is doable. I don't know if they give you the 500,000 or not, but
I don't know if we could match it with any,
you
but
don't know. If you don't pass, so.
because we're working on generating funds.
But, and there might be some more money, you know, the one proposal was 40 million for 2 years, so I mean, that's quite a lot more money, doesn't it? TAP gets, and that TAP is all federal money. This would be state money, that's 40 million. But, anyway, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, you bet.
And then, Mr. Delovich, if you want to meet with any of us, seemingly to kind of get caught up or involved.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, good, good.
Your name, Jeremy? Small, rural, gladly grant application.
The reason I'm here today is, I was made aware of it's through, it's a grant, 50/50 grant, through the, Small Rural Tribe is what it's called, Body Worn Camera Program. It's a micro grant program that's put out by, I'm not really certain who the originating funding comes through, if it's the Department of Justice or what, but this is the grant specific to them. It's meant specifically for body worn camera program. We've had WatchGuard body cameras for 7 years now, and they're just really coming up to the end of their life. Batteries are starting to fail. From time to time, you'll have somebody with a fully charged battery that's extended itself within, 45-minute conversation with somebody else that's gone. Next time it might last for 8 hours. It's just the way it is. Which, unfortunately, WatchGuard hasn't kept up with other companies, Taser Axon and some of the others, on their quality. But one of the downsides is that all these cameras are now starting to go for cloud-based storage, which is crazy expensive. The camera itself isn't all that expensive, it's the storage. And you can't do in-house storage, you can't put it on a local network. They don't do it. So ultimately what I'd be asking for is it's a 50/50 grant once again, but the cost for the cameras and all the equipment to attach it, download it, and do all that is $18,250, which I'm pretty certain if we stay the route we've been on, that we'll have that over just because of a lack of personnel for a little bit, that I could cover the other 50 of the match within my budget.
Okay,
But I have to have your permission
to go for the grant.
to go for the grant.
Mr. Chairman, Sheriff, how many cameras is this grant gonna cover?
It'll cover 5. Yeah, and that within that total, so that is a 5-year, it will be purchasing 5 years of storage. So if you do it per year it's $2,750 per year for just storage. For 5 cameras. So it comes out to $13,750 just for storage fees. The cameras themselves are only $4,500. It's the storage that costs everything, yeah. But it's as far as saving it for court purposes, so that there's no chance that we've done anything to videos, which you really can't do without showing trails anyway, but it's just a lot better. Plus, they would have the county attorney's office to be able to log onto our cloud and get the videos they need, which has been a consistent problem through the years. It takes forever to burn a disk or to transfer a file up to them, and then they have to burn a disk for them. It's a pain. So it would make life a lot easier, and these are much more capable cameras than we currently have.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize the sheriff to apply for this body camera grant, understanding that it's a 50/50 match, and it's the 50, all the match money will come out of the sheriff's
Budget.
Make a second that?
Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Carson?
That's good. Yeah, so jury hears everything you say.
Chairman Ryan and Commissioners, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys today. As part of your guys' packet, for this week is a draft, scope of work for, the hangar project that we, met a few times before, in 2022, at the airport. And so what I'm approaching with, you guys today with is this draft scope of work. FAA and the state have taken a look at it, and they had one small comment that as far as just some kind of housekeeping things that I corrected, and so they're okay with it. What I'm here today for is to get your guys' kind of approval of it to go to an IFE. So this project will be over the FAA limit that requires an independent fee estimate by another engineer, and so. So from here, we would send this scope in to another engineer. I would work with staff or Commissioner Ryan as far as getting that information to another engineering firm that then you'd be able to, at a future meeting, look at our fee as well and compare those. And if that's the direction we want to go with this. So the IFE, just as kind of a general reminder, is eligible for reimbursement through the FAA program as well on this. I guess just a little bit more information on what goes before you, what might be different than we talked about before. So the biggest change from when we had a workshop and other discussions previously is we're looking at just doing the design only on the front. And so this is what that entire scope of work is. The advantages of that is just with some of the timing with the grants. We were looking at successive year grants, so 23, 24, 25, 26 grants from both the AIP and the bill funds out of the FAA there. And then just some of the timing as well with not necessarily knowing all the details of what this full design is, right? We talked about a 90 by 90 full-size building, but when we get into more of the intimate design, it might change some of that. So those both give us an advantage before we have a separate construction.
So we were able to spend that money, and, if you included it into the building, then you'd have to build it in 2 years.
Correct.
And just spend the money now and then build it, give you another year probably, or at least.
Correct.
To take it on, to get the design done.
Right, so we do the design this year, and then with that 2 years that Commissioner Ryan mentioned there, that is maybe if there was one downfall for the AIP program. Once you do a design-only grant, once that is finished, you have 2 years to start construction. So you work kind of on a clock for it to be reimbursable. But with what we discussed before, I think that's the best option as far as keeping. You're going to be able to reimburse the expenses as they come in versus having both design and construction up front. And then what we discussed before is then reimbursing that in subsequent years. You'll have some be able to reimburse as we go a little bit more on that. So that's what's in front of you. Next steps would be, like I said, IFE, independent fee estimate, which is required by the FAA. And then we'd look to, we need to have an architect on board for this particular project since it is a building project, and then assigned contract at a future meeting once we have the IFE back. And then finally, as we get into the design, the next biggest hurdle would be the environmental side of things, which for this big project, that's land on, it's all built on fill. We did the project in 2015 to put that fill there, so I don't see any concerns from the FAA going forward on any pull-ups that way.
So we need a motion to approve the work order to go with the IFE, is that
Correct, that's what I'd be asking for today.
So moved.
A second.
I have discussion.
I have one quick question on your review, on your project schedule. And maybe you address it at a later date, but there's nothing there that talks about fire suppression of the structure. Is that part of what you guys will design and do as an architectural assistant?
That could be part of the design depending on the constraint. It's really, with the square footage plus whatever we have as design aircraft to go in there. When we did the master plan that was completed last year, that really set what the design aircraft is. It'll be during the review process. We'll design it, and as we have review and comments, that might affect on a fire suppression system or not.
Thank you.
Nate, do you have any comments?
Nope.
See, go forward. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you so much.
Do you have a dimension decided upon?
Well,
Not decided.
it's still, we're still flexible, but 100 by 100 is what this says on there.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
You bet. Thanks, Carson. See you. Okay. Do you have any correspondence?
That first one, Terry just wasn't sure if you had any questions for her.
No, you want more money. That's what it said.
Yeah, but not from you guys.
This is about your filing fee.
Yes, are you guys going to that meeting?
We are, as soon as we get this over.
You're keeping us from making a good decision for you.
You get thanks for the.
We appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, so you don't have any more questions?
If we do, I'll call you.
Okay, you do, serious.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Safe travels.
Any other correspondence?
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Not debatable, it's not amendable, it does not require.
We adjourned, stand late, stand late.